Stop everything right now. Exactly 72 hours ago, heaven shifted. Angels entered a silence so deep it shook the cosmos. And the reason? You. Not your actions, not your mistakes. You, the one who's been feeling watched, questioned, and tested beyond reason, were placed under divine surveillance. This isn't random. This is confirmation. Chosen one, listen closely. This message isn't for everyone. It's for you, the one who's carried a weight others couldn't see. The one who's asked, why am I like this? Why do I feel so exposed? The answer isn't in your past. It's in the heavenly strategy that just shifted. 72 hours ago, something changed in the spirit realm. Heaven isn't just watching you, it's guarding you. Why? Because what you carry inside is too precious to leave unguarded. The enemy saw it too. That's why assignments have been sent not to break you, but to test the strength of what God placed in you. You felt it, haven't you? That pressure, that resistance, like invisible hands trying to slow your steps. You're not imagining it. You're not paranoid. You're being targeted not because you're weak, but because you're aligned. The enemy knows what you're about to step into, and they'd rather delay you than let you arrive. Chosen one, before we go deeper, pause for a moment. If this message is already speaking to your spirit, don't just watch silently. Subscribe now so you don't miss the confirmations God sends your way. You know how the enemy tries to distract you right when you need a word the most. Every time you refused to lash out, every time you chose restraint over reaction, heaven took notice. You've been training for this moment, the moment where the enemy thought they could outmaneuver you. They sent confusion. They sent exhaustion. They sent people who smiled to your face but carried hidden agendas. But you saw it. You felt it. You didn't collapse under the weight. You stood. You held your ground. And because of that, even the angels are watching you with reverence. You weren't chosen by accident. You were chosen by design. And what's coming requires every piece of you, the strength you've earned, the wisdom you've gained, and the fire that keeps you standing when others would fall. Chosen one, there's a wound you carry that few understand. It's the betrayal not of a person, but of trust. You allowed someone close to you to walk beside you, only to find they carried a hidden agenda. Maybe it was a friend, maybe it was a leader, maybe it was someone you thought would always have your back. That betrayal didn't come from nowhere. It was assigned. The enemy didn't just send a stranger to attack you. They sent someone you trusted, someone who could get close, someone who could whisper doubt into your spirit when you weren't looking. You felt it the moment it happened. A shift, a change in energy, a word that didn't sit right. You tried to ignore it. You tried to give them the benefit of the doubt. But deep down, you knew. And when the truth finally surfaced, it didn't just hurt, it confused you. How could someone I loved do this? Here's what you may not realize. That betrayal was never about you. It was about what you carry. The enemy wanted to use that wound to silence you, to make you question your discernment, to push you into isolation. But you didn't fall into their trap. You saw the truth. You pulled back. You protected what's most important. That moment, the moment you realized you'd been misused, wasn't a failure. It was a divine filter. God allowed it so you would never again place your trust where it didn't belong. He allowed it so you would learn to guard the spirit He placed inside you. Now, you stand stronger. You've learned that not everyone who smiles at you wants your good. You've learned that some people miss the version of you that didn't see clearly, the version that didn't carry the authority you hold today. Listen, I know you're watching quietly, just taking everything in, but chosen ones like you don't come across these messages by accident. If this is touching your soul, hit that subscribe button. Don't keep walking through spiritual warfare alone when a whole family of chosen ones is right here with you. You've been refined through this pain. You've been shaped through this betrayal. And now, heaven sees your clarity. It sees your resolve. It sees the way you carry both strength and grace, not as opposites, but as proof that you've been prepared for what's next. Chosen one, there's a war happening around you, not with guns or swords, but with whispers. Spiritual whispers. They come in the stillness, when you're alone, when you're trying to rest. They come as doubt, as exhaustion, as a feeling that you're not enough, not ready, not worthy. You've felt it, haven't you? That weight that isn't physical, that heaviness that sleep can't fix. It's not your imagination. It's not a coincidence. It's the enemy trying to drain what God placed in you before you even step into your purpose. These attacks aren't random, they're strategic. The enemy knows what's coming. They know you're about to step into a season where your voice will carry authority, where your presence will shift atmospheres, where your decisions will alter the course of lives, including your own. They've sent assignments specifically for you. Assignments to make you doubt your calling, to make you question your worth, to make you feel like you're walking a path alone. But here's what they didn't count on. Your silence has been your strength. You haven't spoken every battle. You haven't reacted to every attack. You've waited. You've prayed. You've listened. And in that silence, you've become unstoppable. The enemy mistook your patience for submission. They thought your compassion meant vulnerability. They were wrong. Your calm isn't weakness. It's control. Your restraint isn't fear. It's mastery. And heaven sees it. Heaven knows that when you finally speak, it will carry the weight of decades of refinement. Stop right here. If you haven't subscribed yet, ask yourself why. Every time you search for clarity, every time you feel overwhelmed, God guides you to messages like this. Don't reject what heaven is trying to give you. Subscribe so you stay connected to the voice that lifts you when no one else does. You've been prepared for this. You've been trained through seasons of silence, seasons of solitude, seasons where the enemy tried to make you believe you were forgotten, but you weren't. You were being positioned. Every prayer you whispered in the dark, every tear you shed in private, every moment you chose faith over fear, it was building the foundation for what's next. The silent war has begun, but it's not new. It's the same battle every chosen one faces, the battle between doubt and destiny. And this time, you're not fighting alone. Heaven is with you. Your angels are watching, and the enemy already knows they've underestimated you. Chosen one, there's a side of you that others don't see. It's not evil. It's not a flaw. It's a gift, one that God placed inside you for protection. It's the side that stands firm when betrayal comes. It's the side that hardens when danger approaches. It's the side that learned discernment through pain. You've tried to silence it, haven't you? You've asked God to take it away. You felt guilty for being firm, for being guarded, for being intense. But hear this clearly. God did not remove it because it served a purpose. That edge kept you alive when others would have broken. That fire kept you standing when enemies planned your collapse. That side of you wasn't meant to dominate you. It was meant to protect what God placed inside you. It's the shield he gave you when you didn't know you needed one. It's the sword he sharpened when you were too weak to fight alone. You've been through seasons where you felt like you had to apologize for existing the way you do. You've been told you're too much. You've been labeled intense. But those labels came from people who couldn't handle the authority you carry. They came from people who were threatened by the clarity you possess. That darkness inside you isn't a curse. It's a testament to the battles you've survived. It's proof that you've been refined in the fire. And now, it's time to stop hiding it and start using it. You've been trained through pain. You've been shaped through betrayal. And now, it's time to let that training surface. Not as aggression, not as bitterness, but as wisdom, as balance, as the strength that allows you to stand firm when others crumble. The enemy feared your light, but they should have feared your shadow. Because when you learn to walk in both, you become unstoppable. You become the warrior heaven prepared you to be. Chosen one, there's a scar inside you, not from a physical wound, but from a spiritual battle. It's the mark of fire. The kind of fire that doesn't destroy, but refines. The kind that leaves you stronger, not broken. You've been through seasons that felt like a blaze. Seasons where everything around you burned: relationships, dreams, even your sense of safety. You asked why. You wondered if you'd done something wrong. But hear this. Those fires weren't punishment. They were purification. God allowed them so you could see what couldn't survive the heat. So you could shed what wasn't meant to last. So you could emerge with a clarity no one else could give you. Those flames didn't consume you, they revealed you. You've stood in moments where everything collapsed and you didn't. You've watched dreams dissolve and you didn't crumble. You faced betrayal and you didn't turn cold. Instead, you turned clearer, sharper, stronger. And that's not a coincidence. That's divine strategy. The enemy thought the fire would break you, but they underestimated the strength God placed in your spirit. They didn't realize that every time you chose to rise instead of retreat, you were proving that heaven's hand was guiding you all along. Now, you carry the wisdom of the fire, not as bitterness but as balance, not as anger but as authority. You know when to speak, you know when to stay silent, you know when to love and when to walk away. That's not wisdom from experience alone. It's wisdom from the fire God allowed so you could walk into your destiny unburdened. Listen, I know you're watching quietly, just taking everything in. But chosen ones like you don't come across these messages by accident. If this is touching your soul, hit that subscribe button. Don't keep walking through spiritual warfare alone when a whole family of chosen ones is right here with you. You've been shaped by the fire, and now you're ready to walk through it again. Not afraid, but prepared. Because you know what waits on the other side isn't destruction, it's elevation, it's purpose. It's the fullness of what God placed inside you before the world tried to dim your light. Chosen one, there's a voice inside you that most people don't have. It's not psychic, it's not luck, it's discernment. A gift from heaven that allowed you to survive seasons others didn't. It's the voice that warned you when something wasn't right. It's the instinct that told you to walk away from certain relationships, certain opportunities, certain paths. You've been called too cautious, too guarded, even untrusting. But here's the truth. That discernment wasn't a flaw. It was faith in action. It was God giving you the tools to protect what He placed in you. Think of the moments you ignored that voice. The times you brushed off that feeling in your spirit. You paid a price. Confusion, pain, even setbacks. But every time you listened, every time you honored that quiet warning, you stepped closer to safety, to clarity, to purpose. That voice isn't about fear. It's about faith. It's about trusting that God gave you this gift so you wouldn't walk into traps others couldn't see. It's about understanding that kindness without boundaries invites sabotage. And you've learned that lesson through pain, but you've also learned to walk in it with grace. Now, that discernment isn't just survival. It's strategy. It's the compass God gave you to navigate a world full of hidden agendas. It's what will keep you aligned when others try to pull you off course. It's what will protect your peace when others try to steal it. You've been trained through trial. You've been sharpened through pain. And now, you're ready to walk forward not with suspicion, but with sovereign confidence. Because you know the voice that guides you isn't yours alone. It's heaven's whisper through your spirit. Chosen one, there's a truth you may not see with your eyes, but your spirit feels it every day. Heaven is watching you, not casually, not distantly, with reverence, with purpose. You've been through seasons where it felt like you were walking alone, misunderstood, attacked, carrying a weight no one else could see. But those moments weren't evidence of isolation. They were evidence of alignment. Heaven doesn't just observe you. It protects you. It guides you. It prepares you. Think of the times you felt an unexpected shift, a sudden clarity, a dream that led you to safety, a feeling that stopped you from making a choice that would have changed everything. That wasn't coincidence. That was heaven stepping in. That was your angelic guard refusing to let you walk into what was meant for destruction. Even angels are attentive to you. Not because you're perfect, but because you're faithful. You've stayed obedient when it was hard. You've chosen humility when it was uncomfortable. You've carried your pain in silence, trusting God with what others couldn't understand. And because of that, heaven trusts you with authority. It trusts you with discernment. It trusts you with power not to dominate, but to defend. Not to boast, but to build. Not to wound, but to wound only what needed to fall. You've been refined through fire. You've been shaped through silence. And now, you're being positioned for something greater. Heaven isn't just watching you, it's whispering to you. It's giving you signs, opening doors, aligning people and purposes in ways you can't explain. The enemy thought your patience was weakness. They thought your silence meant vulnerability. They were wrong. Your calm is control. Your restraint is mastery. And heaven sees it all. It sees the strength you've earned. It sees the wisdom you've gained. And it's ready to elevate you not because you demanded it, but because you've proven you're ready to carry it. Chosen one, there's a warning in your spirit not to frighten you, but to fortify you. As elevation approaches, distractions increase. The enemy doesn't just retreat, they shift strategies. You've felt it, haven't you? That sudden urge to revisit old patterns. That voice whispering, "Who do you think you are now?" That temptation to return to what's familiar, even if it's toxic. It's not random, it's confirmation. The enemy knows what's coming. They know you're about to step into a season where your influence will grow, where your decisions will carry weight, where your voice will shake the foundations of what's been built on compromise. They'll send old wounds to the surface. They'll send people who once had access to your spirit, people who missed the version of you that didn't see clearly. They'll use familiarity as a weapon. They'll use nostalgia as bait. But here's what they don't understand. You've changed. You're not the same person who endured those seasons in silence. You've been refined. You've been raised. You carry a clarity that terrifies those who thrive in chaos. The enemy thought they could use relationships to trap you. They thought they could use doubt to paralyze you. They thought they could use exhaustion to wear you down. But you've learned to recognize the signs. You've learned to discern the spirit behind the circumstance. You've learned that some battles aren't meant to be fought, they're meant to be navigated with heaven's guidance. This is your moment to walk in sovereignty, to trust the refinement that brought you here, to stand firm in the authority you've earned, not through aggression, but through grace, tempered by fire. Heaven is with you. Your angels are watching. And the enemy already knows they've underestimated you once again. Chosen one, you've stepped into a season where the spiritual battles are quieter but no less real. They don't come with thunder or chaos. They come as fatigue that sleep can't fix, as confusion that prayer can't immediately clear, as a sense that you're walking through fog even when the air feels clear. This isn't weakness. This isn't failure. This is spiritual awareness. You're sensing what others can't see. You're feeling pressures that aren't physical, they're spiritual. The enemy knows you're advancing. They know your influence is growing. And their response? They're sending assignments to drain you, to distract you, to make you question your calling. You've felt it, haven't you? That heaviness that settles in your spirit for no reason. That exhaustion that lingers even after rest. That sense of being watched not by people, but by forces that want to delay your purpose. But here's what they don't understand. You've been prepared for this. You've learned to recognize the signs. You've learned to pray through the pressure. You've learned that sometimes the battle isn't fought with words, it's won with stillness. The enemy thought your silence was surrender. They thought your patience was weakness. They were wrong. Your calm is control. Your restraint is mastery. And heaven sees it. Heaven knows that when you finally move, it will carry the weight of everything you've endured. You're not alone in this battlefield. Your angels are active. Your spirit is sharpened. And every time you choose to stay grounded, to keep seeking truth, you're proving that the enemy's tactics won't prevail. This season is refining you, not breaking you. It's aligning you, not delaying you. And when the time is right, you'll step into your purpose with the authority that comes from having walked through fire and emerged unburned. Chosen one, there's a quiet strength inside you, one that doesn't shout but commands attention. It's the calm that doesn't mean passivity. It's the stillness that holds power. You've learned that true strength isn't in reaction, it's in response. You've been through seasons where you had to stand firm, to set boundaries, to walk away from toxicity, to protect what's most important. And in those moments, you didn't just survive, you thrived. You showed the world that your authority comes from heaven, not from ego. But here's the secret the enemy doesn't know. Your calm is an absence of power, it's control. You've learned when to speak and when to stay silent. You've learned when to love and when to step back. You've learned that kindness without wisdom invites sabotage, and because of that you carry a balance that few possess. The enemy fears this. They fear the discernment you've gained. They fear the peace you've cultivated. They fear the way you can stand in truth without arrogance. Because that combination is rare and it's protected. Stop right here. If you haven't subscribed yet, ask yourself why. Every time you search for clarity, every time you feel overwhelmed, God guides you to messages like this. Don't reject what heaven is trying to give you. Subscribe so you stay connected to the voice that lifts you when no one else does. You've been shaped by fire. You've been refined by silence. And now, You're being positioned for something greater. Heaven isn't just watching you, it's whispering to you. It's giving you signs, opening doors, aligning people and purposes in ways you can't explain. The enemy thought your patience was weakness. They thought your silence meant vulnerability. They were wrong. Your calm is control. Your restraint is mastery. And heaven sees it all. It sees the strength you've earned. It sees the wisdom you've gained. And it's ready to elevate you not because you demanded it, but because you've proven you're ready to carry it. Chosen one. There's a shift happening in your spirit. A quiet but powerful shift. You're not just surviving seasons anymore. You're stepping into authority. Not the kind that demands attention. Not the kind that craves control. But the kind that carries the weight of heaven. You've earned this authority not through force but through faithfulness. Through the quiet battles you fought in the dark. Through the tears you shed in private. Through the times you chose humility over pride. Obedience over convenience. Think of the moments you stood firm when others tried to push you off course. When the enemy sent confusion, you chose clarity. When betrayal came, you chose grace. When exhaustion threatened, you chose persistence. Those weren't just choices, they were proofs of readiness. Now, heaven is responding, doors are opening, connections are aligning, opportunities are emerging not because you forced them, but because you've proven you can handle what's coming. You've shown that you won't misuse this authority. You've shown that you carry it with humility, with wisdom, with a heart rooted in love. You've been trained through pain. You've been sharpened through betrayal. And now, it's time to let that training surface. Not as aggression, not as bitterness, but as wisdom, as balance, as the strength that allows you to stand firm when others crumble. The enemy feared your light, but they should have feared your balance. You've learned to walk in both strength and compassion, to stand in truth without cruelty, to carry power without arrogance. That combination is rare and it's protected. You're not just a survivor anymore. You're a leader, a guide, a warrior shaped by fire, refined by silence, and anointed by heaven. And the world is about to see what you've become. Chosen one, there's a shield around you, invisible but undeniable. It's the protection of heaven. You've felt it, haven't you? Those moments when danger passed you by, when plans shifted at the last second, when attacks dissolved before they could touch you. This isn't luck. It's divine strategy. The enemy thought they could catch you off guard. They thought they could exhaust you into making a mistake. But heaven had other plans. Every time you prayed in the dark, every time you stood your ground in silence, every time you chose to trust instead of doubt, you were building a wall of protection around your spirit. Not a wall of isolation, but a wall of safety. A wall that keeps the enemy at bay while allowing grace to flow in. Now, that protection isn't just for you, it's for what you carry. The gifts, the calling, the destiny that's been stirring in your heart for years. Heaven is guarding it, refining it, preparing it for the moment it will be released. You've been through seasons where it felt like everything was falling apart, but you remained standing. Seasons where relationships ended, doors closed, and prayers seemed unanswered. But in those moments, heaven wasn't silent. It was working. It was aligning. It was protecting you from what you couldn't see. Now, you're not just surviving. You're stepping into a season where protection becomes promotion, where refinement becomes revelation, where every battle you've fought, every tear you've cried becomes the foundation for what's next. The enemy may have tried to delay you, but they've underestimated the power of a spirit that's been tempered by fire and guided by grace. Chosen one, there's a shift happening in the spirit realm, one that the enemy didn't see coming. They thought they had you boxed in. They thought your light could be dimmed. They thought your authority could be silenced. But here's what they didn't count on. Your clarity. You've stopped apologizing for boundaries heaven ordained. You've stopped shrinking to make others comfortable. You've stopped softening truth just to avoid conflict. And because of that, the enemy is confused. They thought they could use familiar tactics, old wounds, old voices, old patterns to pull you back into places God has already closed. But you've changed. You're not the same person who endured those seasons in silence. You've been refined. You've been raised. You carry a clarity that terrifies those who thrive in chaos. The enemy thought they could use relationships to trap you. They thought they could use doubt to paralyze you. They thought they could use exhaustion to wear you down. But you've learned to recognize the signs. You've learned to discern the spirit behind the circumstance. You've learned that some battles aren't meant to be fought, they're meant to be navigated with heaven's guidance. This is your moment to walk in sovereignty, to trust the refinement that brought you here, to stand firm in the authority you've earned, not through aggression, but through grace tempered by fire. Heaven is with you. Your angels are watching, and the enemy already knows they've underestimated you once again. Chosen one, there's a sign in your spirit, one that confirms you're exactly where you're meant to be. It's not a loud revelation. It's not a dramatic encounter. It's a quiet knowing. A peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. A certainty that you're being guided, protected, and positioned for something greater. You've been through seasons where everything fell apart. Relationships ended, doors closed, prayers seemed unanswered. But in those moments, heaven wasn't silent. It was working. It was aligning. It was protecting you from what you couldn't see. Now, you're not just surviving. You're stepping into a season where refinement becomes revelation. Where every battle you've fought, every tear you've cried, becomes the foundation for what's next. This is your confirmation. You've been prepared for this moment not just by your experiences, but by the way you've carried them. With dignity, with grace, with a heart that refuses to bitter. Even when betrayed, the enemy may have tried to delay you, but they've underestimated the power of a spirit that's been tempered by fire and guided by grace. You've been shaped for this. You've been anointed for this. And now, heaven is ready to release what's been stirring in your heart for years. Chosen one, you've arrived at the threshold of your divine calling. This isn't the end of your journey, it's the beginning of your ascent. Heaven has been preparing you for this moment not just through trials, but through the quiet strength you've cultivated in the fire. You've been refined. You've been tested. You've been shaped by every tear, every prayer whispered in the dark, every boundary you've had to set to protect your spirit. And now, you stand at the edge of something greater, something that only you can step into. This is your confirmation. You've been prepared for this moment not just by your experiences, but by the way you've carried them, with dignity, with grace, with a heart that refuses to bitter, even when betrayed. The enemy may have tried to delay you, but they've underestimated the power of a spirit that's been tempered by fire and guided by grace. You've been shaped for this. You've been anointed for this. And now, heaven is ready to release what's been stirring in your heart for years. You're not just a survivor anymore. You're a leader, a guide, a warrior shaped by fire, refined by silence, and anointed by heaven. The world is about to see what you've become, not because you demanded attention, but because you've proven you can handle what's coming. You carry light that shines through darkness. You carry strength that doesn't crumble under pressure. You carry discernment that protects what's most important. And because of that, heaven trusts you with authority. It trusts you with purpose. It trusts you to step into the role you've been preparing for, not just for yourself, but for the many who will be lifted when you rise. Before you go, chosen one, don't forget, the fact that you made it to the end of this message means something. Your spirit needed this. Don't walk away without subscribing. It costs nothing, but it means everything for the journey God is taking you on. Join the family. Your breakthrough might be in the next video.